People deluded. Now, in regards to Arsenal's 3-0 victory in the Stan Kroenke derby against Colorado Rapids, some extended thoughts now. When I made my review, and I'll probably do several other videos as I watch the game again when it becomes available and whatnot. But I forgot to talk about Kola. I touched on it vaguely about some players and whatnot. I feel when Kolašinac came onto the field, he showed what he needs to improve on is defensively. The amount of times he gave the ball away and just not being the most concentrated individual in defensive moments, it needs to improve. And to be fair, I don't think Kolašinac, again, if Kolašinac could improve, I think he'd be one of the best left backs in the Premier League, to be fair with you. He'd have both. He'd be good going forward and defensively. I feel offensively, no one can tell me Kolašinac isn't up there with the fullbacks. I'm not saying he's the best, but he's up there going forward in an attacking sense. Defensively, he's down there for one of the worst, and it doesn't matter if it's United, if it was United away, Brighton away, several incidences. Not just him, to be fair, but he is typically in our back line. There's a lot of individual mistakes, and Kolašinac, whether it's positioning, not sniffing danger, not being proactive, is more often than not at the scene of the crime. Again, he's not alone. I'm not saying it's all his fault. And like I said, I actually think he's decent. I want another left back, but I think you can persist with him as second choice. If he can improve defensively, you have a competent player. But considering the way he's been playing, the defensive mistakes he makes, which he made in this game, and obviously the money he's on, I don't like to speak about money, as you lot know, people, because it's irrelevant. I'm just speaking on it that he's on 100 bags a week. He's one of the top earners at the club. That's got I don't care how much you earn, as long as that's kind of matching the performances. And Cole has had some good form and some good patches, and it's come good for us. I don't think he's a terrible player. I just think he makes terrible decisions, and it's down to him to want to improve and to have the awareness to see what he can improve, because I feel his crossing is good, but even his crossing at times could be better. But defensively, if you can't see you're letting yourself down defensively, then there's some serious issues. And again, I feel sorry for Emre. I don't know how much he can coach him, but when Emre stepped into this job, coaching was a big part of it. There's no way around it. Yes, there's a lack of finances. Yes, some players are not good enough, but some players he has to be able to coach. Some players that we can see that we deem coachable and we can move forward with. And arguably some players I don't feel he can persist with. He's got to get the best out of them, because coaching was a big part of this job. We knew the lack of funds available and whatnot, whether it's young players, players that we're stuck with. Developing and coaching is a big part of it. So it's down to them to collectively find it. Away from that, Mustafi was booed, and I'm pretty sure hate is a strong word. So when people say they hate this player and that player, it's annoying. But I have a lot of, in terms of just purely what he offers on the football pitch, I hate Mustafi. I don't hate him as a person. I don't know him as a person, but I hate what he offers on the football pitch. I feel time and time again, lack of concentration, lack of proactiveness, just downright baffling the amount of decisions he's made. We can sit here and list them. The one that sticks with me is in the cup final against Sergio Aguero. Rather than chasing him down and trying to make a challenge, you're standing up there with your hand up. Or Crystal Palace last season when the ball came over and Zaha ripped him and he tried to blame Leno. I hate how he's quick to blame other people. But I don't know how I feel about him being booed. Now, again, people, I'm no way Mustafi Defence League. I would not cry or lose any sleep if he departed the club. I don't think he's worth moving forward with. But if I'm saying this, then surely I'm sure you lot have to be easy, man. Like, what good is booing him? First and foremost, yeah, if he is under, rightly or wrongly, if he is under contract and he is a player, Emre is likely to use him. I'm not saying forget about the mistakes he's made, and he will make these mistakes again, but he don't deserve to be booed like that, man. Like, he don't deserve to be hounded out. Koscielny's been a low servant, but Koscielny's more loyal, more deserving of the boos, to be fair with you. Mustafi, apart from playing poorly, he doesn't deserve the boos. He definitely doesn't deserve the boos in the pre-season. I'm not saying forget about the old mistakes people have made, but kind of start afresh. He doesn't deserve that. Of course, some people in a warped world could say, if you boo him consistently, hound him out, I know he's comfortable with the duration of his contract and life at Arsenal. Maybe that forces him to look at his situation and things like that and ask his agent to seek a move. But for me, I don't feel that's right, man. I feel this club always bangs on about class. The fans always bang on about class. We need to take a leaf out of that book and execute. I don't feel, pardon me, what use does booing Mustafi have? Like, it's in the pre-season, it's borderline disgraceful. It really rubbed me up the wrong way, and I'm not the biggest Mustafi fan. I just feel he don't deserve that, really and truly. Yes, he's been poor. I don't feel he deserves that, man. I don't feel he deserves that. Like, you don't know me. I'm a true person. I'm always gonna tell you, like, what I honestly feel. And I think aside from Mustafi just being a poor footballer, I don't think he deserves that. That really rubbed me up the wrong way. Don't deserve to get booed, man. Reality is, do I think he shouldn't be at this club? Of course, but he's contracted until 2021. David Ornstein said since the moment we've bought him, we've tried to sell him every transfer window and it hasn't happened. So we're stuck with him. He's contracted until 2021, so 2 years. He played a lot of times under Unai Emery. Obviously, with talk of a new centre-half, we'll see. But he's likely to feature again, so he's still our player, rightly or wrongly. I'm not saying don't boo any of the players when the performance deserves it, but it's a pre-season game. Why is he getting booed, man? He's getting booed when he's warming up as well. Like, what's all of that about? Like, really and truly. Again, I'm in no means defending his poor form last season and things like that. But one thing I'll give Mustafi, as poor as he's been, he ain't acted up in some sort of way that makes you rubs you up the wrong way about Arsenal. He hasn't spoken ill of us. He hasn't. Exactly, just about away from being a poor player, his conduct has always been quite good, and he's been in good conduct. So why am I gonna abuse him, man? You lot know me. I'm not a fan of all of that witch hunt stuff and things like that. The people that should be witch hunted out of this club, whether they're backroom staff or whatnot, fans are starting to wake up. They're the ones that should get the energy, man. Mustafi's just simply victim of being a poor footballer, but I don't think he deserves that booze, man. And I feel I had to say something about it, really and truly. I don't. Yeah, man, people, we're better than that. Arsenal fans, whether we're in England or everywhere else, we're better than that, man. If the season comes and he's playing poor and the team is playing poor, by all means, boo them. But I don't feel Mustafi deserves that, man. Psychologically, if he is going to stay here and be utilised next season, what good is that going to serve anyone, people, really and truly? We've seen it. For me, again, we're going off topic a bit, but you've got Iwobi and Bellerin. Now, the one thing I like about Unai Emery, away from Iwobi, people deeming him he's improved, is that similar to Raheem Sterling, he looks clear in the mind. I feel Bellerin and Iwobi, two players that we all know they were scapegoated at times at this club by fans and individuals on platforms, and they're still scapegoated. I don't know them, and there might be another reason, but for me, I used to see Bellerin playing with a handbrake. You could see certain passes that when he first came, he might try, or certain dribbles he might try. He weren't trying to do that, playing too safe. It won't be the same, and I'm sure there's any other examples. I need my players to be clear of the mind, man. If Mustafi, I don't want Mustafi to touch a foot. I don't feel Mustafi should play for this club again. And if it's up to me, Mustafi would never play for this club again. But the reality is, he's likely to take to the field for Arsenal Football Club. So on top of him being a poor player, what's the point feeding into negative mentality that we could possibly give him and making him play with a handbrake, making him think? We already know clearly it's too much for Mustafi to think on a football field, so we're going to make him think even more. We're going to make him even more hesitant. We really need to, I feel fans have to be easy sometimes, really and truly, man. Like I said, Mustafi's been in poor form throughout the season and his time at Arsenal, but I don't think it's fair to boo him, man. I think fans need to, we're better than, like I said, we are better than that. I don't feel Jenkinson should be at this club. Should I sit here and boo Jenkinson? I don't feel Jenkinson is a good footballer or can take this club positively moving forward in any capacity. But does that mean I should boo him? No, he gets my support as long as he's playing in an Arsenal shirt. Obviously, I'm not saying if people are not in poor form and are not playing bad, they shouldn't be critiqued and things like that. I'm sure most of you, this message will only be failed to be understood by one idiot. You all understand what I'm getting at, but he don't deserve that. And if you do feel he deserves that, Arsenal fans, we're better than that, man. We are really better than that, man. He don't deserve that in a pre-season game on the other side of the Atlantic. I honestly don't feel he deserves that. I know I'm going off topic a bit, people, but I feel I have to I don't want to make a video on it, but I just wanted to offer a couple words. I'm sure you've all seen Berahino's in talks on trial, I believe, for Zelt. Where Jim, I cannot say that name. I know you all know about them, the Belgium side, and it's quite a fall from grace, man. I know he's had injuries, he's had problems off the field, question marks over his mentality, but you can always come back on the scene and whatnot. But 25 years of age, was seen as someone that was going to break through into the England squad, give Harry Kane issues at that level, move on from West Brom into bigger clubs. He was linked with Spurs, Arsenal at a point, couple other clubs. And he's obviously went to Stoke. His career just hasn't happened, man. Maybe it's a lack of professionalism. Maybe it's things out of his control. But you wouldn't have seen that happening a few years ago, people. It's quite sad, man. To go back on the Kieran Tierney front, I have seen reports online literally just now that we're going to go back in with a third bid. Apparently, the offer we made is to 80 million plus add-ons, which would probably, I assume, take us into 25 million for Turney. So Celtic, within their rights, 80 million is a bit of a low ball, man. I just want to see us get this one over the line because, I mean, if I was a team that needed a left back in the Prem, I don't know how much money Spurs have, but surely Kieran Tierney could go to Spurs. Liverpool have a first choice fullback in Robertson, but surely they could imagine Tierney and him, for example. I'm sure there's other clubs. Again, they all might have scouted him and whatnot, but the longer this goes on, surely someone that just has the 25 million there is just gonna put it on the table and complicate things. So we'll see, man. But in regards to Kola, I think we need a left back, and Kieran Tierney couldn't come any sooner. For Mustafi, as poor as he is, I don't think he deserved that booing, man, and it really puts fans in a negative light. On that topic, though, I'm out, man. People, DG, thank you for watching and rocking.